Hello my darlings, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Thank you so much for sticking through. If you are new to this channel, my name is Ntombi, the ClassyNtombazana. I do hope that you will stick through. If you enjoy this video, please check out one of my other videos, and if you do enjoy my content, please don't forget to subscribe so you can see much more of my content. I would love to have you join us on the Classy table, and if you have been on this table, I'm so grateful to have you here still. I do trust that you are enjoying this content, and if you are, please don't forget to leave a comment on your suggestions on what you would love for me to include in these videos. So today we are having a sit down, and that means we are having or taking one more step to level up our class. So we are having a brow tutorial today, and I wanted to take it just from grooming to the tutorial of achieving the final look of the feathered brow. And I'm about to get very brutal with a lot of you, so I do apologize. If you would love to get your brow on feathered, stay tuned. So before we start out with actually the grooming part of this video, I just want to line out a few things. First of all, I'm about to show you steps that you will use to groom a feathered, more natural brow. And I know this will be a minimal grooming. That is why you should shift away from the trend that was in around 2019 and before, because that eats out a lot of the brow and it will hinder you from achieving the feathered brow, which is basically bushy, more nothing at all. So I want you to learn how to groom your eyebrow just so you can, at the end of the day, reach a feathered brow. But first of all, not all of us can achieve a feathered brow. I don't know why they don't want to tell you this and want to stress you out just so to make you feel like you are not getting the trend right or you're not getting the steps right. Feathered brows are mostly your natural brow. I know some of us have like kind of bushy eyebrows, but not necessarily full eyebrows. So that you can kind of work it out because you will just use an eyebrow pencil to mimic your hairs. But there's some of us that have little to no brow hairs, and that will make it very difficult for you to reach a feathered brow, especially as a beginner. If you will go to someone who is a professional for a makeup look and ask to have the feathered brow, they could probably get it done for you. But for you to achieve it on an everyday basis, it is probably going to be very difficult for you, and that is why I wanted to do this video. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to say that you are less than, but I want you to follow trends that you will be able to do and that will be easy for you to maintain on a daily basis. So that is why I will be taking this video this way. I will use one of my eyebrow to show what I use or how I achieve the feathered brow, obviously with the kind of brow that I have and with the products that I use myself. And on this side, I will show you how you can reach a more natural brow, not necessarily feathered, but away from the previous trend into the more natural, effortless trend with the kind of brow that you would have. And that is for someone that has little to no hair or not necessarily that much of a bushy brow. And I do hope you appreciate that and don't come for me. Okay, so first of all, I will introduce to you the products that you will need to achieve this brow look. So it will start from grooming and straight into what you will need every single day to achieve that look. So I'm just going to show you all of the products all together because I don't want to show you the products that you will use for grooming and then have to start all over again when we are actually creating the brow look. Okay, so first of all, you will need a brush. This is obviously to brush out your eyebrows. Mine is a little bit injured. It was in surgery. It just came out today, I think. The next thing you will need is tweezers. So I'm not going to introduce the products in the order that you will use them, just what you'll need. you'll need tweezers. And I'm so sorry if you are not very much friendly with tweezers, you are going to have a bit of a problem, because feathered brow are basically little to no effort in removing hairs. So this is what will give you much more control than a razor blade, and that is obviously what you will need also if you were achieving the previous brow look, which will allow you to remove a lot more hairs than a tweezer would. So if you are, and I don't know why, like, people that are not necessarily familiar or find it very easy to groom their eyebrows run away from tweezers, because I feel like you have so much more control with a tweezer, because this will remove 1 or 2 hairs at a time, so you don't over groom your eyebrows. Okay, so please try and get friendly with the tweezers. You will thank me later. Okay, and then the next thing obviously is the razor blades. You will need a brush, and this will be for the end stage to blend out your concealer. And then this is the brow powder that I use, and this is not necessarily what you need for the feathered brow, and that is for me because I have natural bushy brows, but this will be more for the natural but minimal haired eyebrow. So you will need this Essence brow powder. You can get this from Discam. You must look for one that is suitable for your shade, because I think they have about 3 shades. So I chose the medium because I don't necessarily want them to be like dark. And then you will need a spoolie. The set you can also get, I think, a pack from Discam. This you will need for your soap. This is my soap. It has been through the most but this is the clear soap that I used. It is the Rooibos clear soap from Discam. This you will need to flatten out your eyebrows. I've seen other people also use the Got To Be glue, but I'm not necessarily familiar with that. I haven't tried it, but I think if you already know how to use it, then you can use that in alternative to the soap. Okay, and then you will need a concealer, and this is for me Toffee. I am caramel for the foundation, so Toffee for me is not necessarily a highlight, but it does kind of highlight if I'm not looking for the bright highlight. That is just another thing that you will need to achieve a more natural look. For a more natural look, you don't use a highlighting concealer. This is because you want your brow to look more natural. The highlighted concealer will sort of bring so much tension to the brow, right? And right now we are trying to just balance out the whole entire face with no effort at all. So I use one that is sort of highlighting, but it is not I think this is just 1 shade lighter than my foundation. And you can also, if you can, invest in just buy one that is your actual complexion, if you understand what I mean. Don't get a highlighting concealer. So I am in the Toffee, and this is obviously the Elegel Pro Conceal. You will also need a brow pencil. It needs to be very, very sharp. This you can also, this is not Essence. I think this was from China Mall or something. It's very old. I can't even remember where I got it from, but you can get just a brown. This is another thing. Yo, you guys depress me. A brown. Okay, get a brown pencil, not a black. Yeah, and then you'll just need some water to obviously just wet your spoolie. So let's get started. Okay, so again, this side I'm doing my brow, and this side I'm doing more of your brow. Okay, but I think the grooming is more or less the same, because we are not really trying to get rid of most part of the brow hairs, but just also trying to give it some sort of shape. So you just brush them up. And then as you can see, when you brush up your brow, this is what we're trying to get rid of. Only that, okay? Only this. That is on the top part. So I will use my razor blade, and then with the comb part of your brush, brush it up, hold it, and then this is how I normally just feel more comfortable when I bend it. I feel like I have more control when it's bended like that. And then I just chop off. Okay, so you can already see that we have a bit of a shape here than we did there, okay? Happy with the top of the side, and then we'll just do the other side. One thing that you don't want to do is to rush. Rather take your time, because once you overcut, there's nothing you can do, okay? So relax yourself. And yes, you can work miracles and grow your hair back in and all. This will just also depends on your preference. I prefer the feathered brow but much more shaped. Someone can just prefer them as natural as can be. So you can obviously skip this part completely if you prefer the feathered, very much bushed. But I prefer naturally bushed but still with shape, and that is why I do this part. Okay. So I am happy with the top. And now the bottom part, and this is where you will need your tweezers, okay? Like I said, tweezers give you much more control than this would, because obviously, as you can see, if I were to use tweezers, I could, because I've been doing my brows for the longest time. But I think for you who is a beginner, this is literally a train smash for you, because see how much hairs this will take off. Rather, if you choose to work with your tweezers, you can literally go on one hair and pull it out. One hair, pull it off. One hair, pull it off, okay? I don't know if, okay, you can't see that, but you have much more control with one hair, okay? So we just brush that out. I'm just trying to give this a bit more a symmetrical line rather than just having it bushy. Like the other feathered brows are much more bushy, but I just prefer mine. So I'm gonna take this and remove just a little bit, a few hairs that I don't want. And I'm sorry, I don't have like a high quality camera to be able to zoom in so you can see fully what I'm doing, but this is like the bare minimum I can do for you. So you just pull out one hair at a time of what you can, okay? It is so much better for you to take out little by little than for you to just overdo it, and then you'll have to probably wait another couple of months for your hair to grow back. So bit by bit, take it off. So the next thing you want to do is get rid of the unibrow. I'm not a big fan of the unibrow. This again goes according to your preference. If you don't mind having a unibrow, then you can skip this step, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I obviously always get rid of it. Again, I go in with my razor blade folded like that, and I just So that is my groomed feathered brow, and now we will skip into the step of actually achieving the feathered brow. This will be for either a makeup look, or if you are a minimalist and you just want to achieve the brow, then this is where you'll come in. First things first is your spoolie and your clear soap. Again, like I said, I've seen some people use the got to be glue, but I haven't tried that, so I'm not comfortable showing off what I haven't tried myself. So just wet this and brush it on your soap, and then you just go in. You are basically taming up. This is too wet. So I was saying that you are basically taming your brows with this. You are basically telling them what to do. Okay, guys, please excuse me. I have got flu, so my nose is doing the most. Or if you see something that looks like a booger, trust me, it is my skin peeling off of my nose. Okay, you will need to apply a bit of pressure with this, just so you can get the soap into most of your hair. And I quite suggest that if you are a beginner, do this step before you put on your foundation, because trust me, you will end up getting your foundation on your eyebrows if you put on foundation before, if you are a beginner, that is. So you just get your brow where you want it to go. Okay, normally obviously you just want to direct it to the natural way of your brow, and that is up, 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 and then, you know, just like that. So after you have directed basically your hairs into the direction that you want them to go, if you're someone that has some like a lot of hairs but not really like full, and if you just want to add some more intensity, you will now go in with your brown brow pencil, very sharp, so you can mimic small hair strands. I normally don't use this part, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just show you. So you'll just go in like that. Okay. Very lightly, very lightly. This is just because I like my ending to be more visible. Okay, so now you will go in with your concealer. I normally just use this brush on the concealer. I know some people use a different brush, but I love this brush on the actual concealer, so I just use it. What I'll do is I'll just put on a little bit on my thumb and then just brush out the excess and go right in. So here we are just cleaning it off, but not quite like the brow we used to have like in 2019. So we are just creating a clean look. And again, with the feathered brow, you only do the bottom part, you don't go up, because on there we want the natural hair strands to go up naturally. So then after, you will then blend your concealer. And this will be your feathered brow, but I'll show you how you looks when you obviously have blended out nicely with the foundation. This is how it should look. Okay, so now I'm gonna tackle this side of my brow, and that is for those of you that don't have as much of a bushy brow like I do, but also just trying to achieve like a natural brow. So again, you just brush it up. You also go in with your soap. Then you will go in with your brow powder. The brow powder actually comes with a small brush that you can use. It is a perfect pointed brush that you can use, but I just normally prefer a longer one. This is the one that I use. It is also pointed, but just a bit longer. But for the purpose of this video, just in case this is all that you have, I want to show you how to use this one. Okay, so you'll just tap it very lightly on the brown side. Avoid using anything black on your eyebrows. I know the hair is black, but use brown. Okay, so I will start from the end, and I'm just filling in the blank spaces. Please don't pressure yourself on being perfect at this stage, because this you will obviously correct with your concealer. So you're just filling in where you can. Try and create shape. This will just avoid you having a lot of work to do at the end. So you just fill it in, and you obviously try and create an ombre effect. That is why I always start from the back and come into the front. And when you come to the front, you use like the edge side, just the edge. And with this, you will brush it out, just so. Okay, so you are just adding on your minimal hairs, right? Okay, I know this will probably seem like it is not going to help you because I already have a lot of hairs, but trust me, just try it out and let me know how it works for you. So once you have that and you have filled in, mimicking a brow hair strands with the edge, just like that, you obviously created an ombre effect, and then right down blending with the end of your brow. And then you will go in with a concealer. For this part, I would also suggest you to use not a highlighting concealer, either a concealer that is your shade or just one shade lighter, not 2 shades lighter than your foundation. Okay, and then now you just blend out the excess on your thumb or wherever you feel comfortable, and then you correct that. Okay, the reason why I love using this brush, because I feel like it's already pointed and it allows you a lot of space for you to blend. Unlike if you use like a small line like I've seen others use, I feel like if you use that, then I don't know, I'm just uncomfortable blending that out. Okay, so this is where you will correct your mistakes. So for instance, if I had like excess on there, this is where you will correct it. Okay, so now the difference with this one is because we don't really have bushy hairs that are mimicking hair strands, so we are also closing it up at the top. Okay, so just get it to the shape that you want, but obviously you want to find your arc, which is pointed right with your nose, and this is where your eyebrow should end, and there is where your eyebrow should begin. Okay. Okay, so now we blend. Okay, and then after you are done with your blending, this is now the final touch, and this is what makes your hairs seem more flowy and natural, or bushy kind of. Okay, I use a mascara that is almost dried up, and I don't know what you're going to use if you don't have a mascara that is almost dried up. I would suggest you either buy one of those cheap mascaras that obviously will dry out very quickly, or just if you have like a new mascara that you don't necessarily like, before you use it, just wipe it off on a paper towel. So this is my old mascara. This is from Cosmetics. This was actually one of my favorites, and it just dried up, and even when it's dried up, there's still some form of product on it. So you don't want it to completely dry, but you don't want it to be very wet either. Okay, so you will use this to basically awaken your hairs, if that makes sense. So again, I start from the end, and this will just waken up your hairs. This looks much more natural, especially face to face. I'm not sure if it will reflect on camera, but this for me is the seal. Okay, so you go very lightly with this, very lightly. So you awaken your hairs because you have dried them up and flattened them down with your soap. Now we are creating a feather effect. Okay. Just went over there with my little just fix that. Okay, and this part you also do it with your little hairs, or like for the other eyebrow, and this you are trying to cut out that line there on top. Okay, because with this one, because we don't have that much of hair creating that effect of a feathered brow, so we are going to create a more natural brow with the mascara. So you just go in, I hope that you guys can see this. Okay, you see what I've done there? I don't know if you can see it, but you see how I have created a bit of hairs coming through there. So this will look very much more natural. Than it would if you had just left it boxed out. Okay, so this right here is the full boxed brow with the natural finish. For those of you that can't fully achieve their feathered brow, either because you don't have necessarily the bushy brows, or just don't prefer the feathered brow, but also just want to have a natural looking brow, the most important thing here is to do very light strokes and to groom as minimal as you can go. And then this will be your feathered brow. takeout of this video is that we cannot always follow trends to the T. One thing we must know is that there's always ways that you can find to go around it. Even myself, I feel like I cannot fully achieve the fully feathered brow because my brows are very dark from start to finish. Sometimes I cannot even achieve the full ombre look, but I work with what I have and I try to look as natural as possible. And I hope that you did benefit from what I have just shared with you. Please share this video with anyone that you know that needs these tips that I just shared with you, and if you know someone that would love to get to their brows feathered. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe. It costs you nothing at all, but means so much to me, and I would love for you to be a part of the family. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and leave a comment down below. Let me know which part of the video is going to be mostly useful to you, or which one was just your favorite part of the video. I do hope to see you again on my next video. Trust me, I love when you come see me again. Till then, I love you to bits and pieces. Cheers, guys.